seeking out this fight, since I lost my belt on the scale some time ago, you got to go through me to get to Canelo Alvarez. David Benavidez, when you see Terence Crawford and David Benavidez next to each other.
There's been a lot of talk about Terence Crawford fighting David Benavidez recently after his stunning victory over Demetrius Andrade. However, Bud had made it clear, Canelo is all he wants at 168.
Strong fighters going head-to-head.
Is Canelo the only 68 you fight, or would you consider a Benavidez?
Yeah, Canelo the only one.
With Crawford being adamant about wanting to fight the undisputed super middleweight champion, many cannot understand why Crawford doesn't want a showdown with David Benavidez.
And you can fight the likes of Canelo Alvarez. Why can't you go to 168 and fight the guy everybody wants to see Canelo Alvarez face off against, and that's undefeated two-time WBC?
In this video, we look at what David Benavidez said about fighting Crawford. Also, should Crawford fight the Mexican monster over Canelo Alvarez? Stick around and watch as we look at which fight is more suitable for the welterweight champion. Terence Crawford was all praise for David Benavidez recently after the Mexican monster put up an incredible show in Las Vegas and got the better of the American Demetrius Andrade via technical knockout. Benavidez successfully defended his WBC interim super middleweight title, which means a fight with Canelo Alvarez is inevitable. During an interview after the Benavidez-Andrade fight, Crawford described Benavidez's performance as spectacular and wonderful, awarding him an A+ grade. He emphasized Benavidez's offensive prowess, labeling him as one of the best offensive fighters in the game. Crawford's admiration for Benavidez's style was evident as he pointed out his relentless approach, smart pressure, effective use of the jab, and ability to deliver straight punches to both the body and head. However, Crawford did note that Benavidez could tighten up his defense a bit more. Despite this minor critique, Crawford firmly believed that Benavidez was ready to take on Canelo. He acknowledged the challenge that Canelo presents, referring to him as a great fighter, but maintained that Benavidez has the qualities and skills necessary to compete at that level.
It's pressure, but it's smart pressure. You know, he coming behind his jab, he throwing straight punches, he going to the body, going in up and down. He just got to tighten up a little bit on his defense, but other than that, man, he good. He ready for Canelo.
We know you want.
When asked about a potential Canelo versus Benavidez fight, Crawford considered it a 50-50th matchup, recognizing the strengths of both fighters. He expressed eagerness to see the fight, underscoring the unique styles and capabilities that both Benavidez and Canelo bring to the ring. Crawford's analysis reflects his deep understanding of the sport and his ability to assess fighters' skills and potential matchups objectively. Terence Crawford went to great lengths and explored the potential fight between Canelo and Benavidez. However, he's adamant that the only fight he's interested in is with Canelo. Crawford made it clear that he would fight nobody else but Canelo Alvarez at 168 pounds. This is surprising considering Benavidez has expressed interest in fighting the former undisputed welterweight champion. Now, in case you're wondering, David Benavidez stated that he has a lot of respect for Bud Crawford. He also had a brilliant piece of advice for the American welterweight champion. Benavidez stated that if Crawford is serious about moving up to fight Canelo, he should prove himself against Benavidez first.
It is the fight. And he's doing the interviews, and he says that if Terence Crawford wants to fight with Canelo Alvarez, he's going to have to go through me.
Benavidez's challenge is rooted in the boxing tradition of proving one's mettle against established fighters in a new weight class before aiming for top-tier opponents. His call out to Crawford is not just a challenge, but also an opportunity for Crawford to demonstrate his capabilities at a higher weight class. In response to the idea of fighting Benavidez, Crawford was straightforward. He acknowledged Benavidez's size and skill, but expressed that he was not interested in fighting him. Crawford's focus remains on Canelo, seeing a potential fight with him as a historic opportunity to become undisputed in 3 separate weight classes.
Strong fighters going head-to-head.
Is Canelo the only 68 you fight, or would you consider a Benavidez?
Yeah, Canelo the only one.
Blue Blood Sports TV, a popular boxing commentary channel, weighed in on this situation. They highlighted Crawford's decision to not fight Benavidez as a strategic move. According to Blue Blood Sports TV, Crawford recognizes the physical and skill differences between himself and Benavidez. They noted that while Crawford has the style and skill set to potentially match up with Canelo, facing Benavidez, who is significantly bigger and has an aggressive fighting style, might be too much of a challenge. The boxing community's reaction to this development has been mixed. Some fans and analysts agree with Crawford's decision, understanding the strategic importance of choosing fights that align with career goals and legacy. Others, however, were intrigued by the prospect of a Crawford versus Benavidez fight, seeing it as a compelling matchup that would test Crawford's abilities in a higher weight class. Another important factor worth pointing out is the age difference. Crawford might be reluctant to fight the Mexican monster due to the huge age gap between them. The age gap between Bud and Canelo, meanwhile, is just a few years, which is why Crawford might be ready to take on Canelo at 168 pounds. Crawford sees both himself and Canelo on the same page and believes a matchup with Canelo gives him a better chance of winning as compared to Benavidez, who is much younger but also equally experienced. Now, Fanon Boxing offered a shared critical perspective on Terence Crawford's refusal to fight David Benavidez and his readiness for the 168-pound division and a potential fight against Canelo Alvarez. In a detailed video analysis, Fanon Boxing delved into the complexities of Crawford's decisions and the broader implications for the boxing world. Fanon Boxing expressed skepticism about Crawford's decision to bypass a fight with David Benavidez. They pointed out that if Crawford is serious about moving up to fight Canelo, he should be willing to face other top contenders in the 168-pound division like Benavidez. This reluctance to fight Benavidez, according to Fanon Boxing, raises questions about Crawford's readiness for the super middleweight division and a fighter of Canelo's caliber.
The #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world that wants to fight Canelo Alvarez doesn't want any smoke with David Benavidez.
Fanon Boxing criticized the trend of fighters jumping weight classes for specific fights, labeling it as cherry-picking. They argued that this approach undermines the integrity of the sport, as it often leads to matchups that are more about spectacle than genuine competition. Fanon Boxing emphasized the importance of continuity in divisions and the need for fighters to prove themselves against the best in their respective weight classes. Fanon Boxing highlighted the significant size and skill differences between Crawford and potential opponents in the 168-pound division. They pointed out that fighters like Benavidez, David Morrell, Caleb Plant, Demetrius Andrade, and Jermall Charlo could be too big and skilled for Crawford. This size disparity, according to Fanon Boxing, is a critical factor that Crawford and his team must consider before moving up in weight. Fanon Boxing stressed the need for more realistic and competitive fights in boxing. They argued that while a fight between Crawford and Canelo might be intriguing, it's more important to see matchups that truly determine the best fighters in each division. They suggested that Crawford should focus on fighters like Jaron Ennis or Tim Tszyu if he moves up to 154 pounds, as these fights would more accurately reflect the competitive landscape of the division. Fanon Boxing's analysis presents a critical view of Terence Crawford's current career trajectory. They argue that Crawford's decision to avoid David Benavidez and aim directly for Canelo Alvarez might not be in the best interest of his legacy or the sport. By focusing on the importance of weight class integrity and realistic matchups, Fanon Boxing underscores the need for fighters to prove themselves against the best in their division before seeking higher-profile, potentially less competitive fights.
We want to see more realistic, more competitive fights, and ones that could add continuation or continuity to the division that they're fighting in, like Jaron Ennis at 147.
So, Fanon Boxing believes Crawford isn't ready for either Canelo Alvarez or David Benavidez. But since we're talking about these two amazing fighters, let's look at how a fight between these two would go. A hypothetical bout between David Benavidez and Terence Crawford presents a fascinating matchup, rich with contrasts in style, size, and stakes. First, let's look at the size of both fighters and the weight class considerations for the fight. As a natural super middleweight, Benavidez brings a significant size and power advantage to the ring. His ability to absorb punches and deliver heavy blows could pose a serious challenge to Crawford, who is smaller in comparison. Crawford, primarily a welterweight, would need to adapt to a higher weight class. This transition could affect his speed and stamina, two of his key strengths. However, Crawford's history shows his ability to adapt to different weight classes successfully. This should therefore not be a huge problem for the welterweight champion. In a potential clash between Crawford and Benavidez, the contrasting skill sets of both fighters set the stage for a riveting battle. Crawford, renowned for his exceptional boxing intelligence, can effortlessly switch stances and strategies, a testament to his versatile and technical prowess. This adaptability enables him to read and counter his opponents effectively, a skill that would be crucial in mitigating Benavidez's aggressive approach. On the other hand, Benavidez brings a formidable combination of power and relentless aggression to the ring. Known for his ability to deliver powerful punches and maintain constant pressure, Benavidez's fighting style poses a significant challenge to Crawford's defensive capabilities. The matchup promises a dynamic confrontation, with Crawford's strategic versatility pitted against Benavidez's aggressive power, each aiming to exploit the other's vulnerabilities in a high-stakes boxing showdown. When it comes to experience in the ring, there's no doubt that both fighters have plenty of fighting experience. And although Benavidez is only 26, he has fought against the toughest fighters. Crawford, with his diverse fighting background, has demonstrated remarkable adaptability against a variety of fighting styles, an attribute that could prove crucial in devising a strategy to counter Benavidez's approach. His ability to adjust and respond to different in-ring challenges underscores his tactical acumen, which would be essential in facing a fighter of Benavidez's caliber. Conversely, Benavidez's impressive track record in the super middleweight division highlights his consistent performance against opponents who match his size and power. This experience has not only honed his skills, but also provided him with the understanding of how to effectively utilize his natural physical advantages in the ring. The combination of Crawford's versatile experience and Benavidez's proven prowess in his weight class sets the stage for a compelling encounter where strategy, skill, and experience converge in a battle of two titans of the boxing world. If these two were to ever fight in the ring, Crawford would adopt a defensive stance, relying on counterpunches and using his speed and agility to avoid Benavidez's power shots. On the other hand, Benavidez would likely try to use his size to pressure Crawford, cutting off the ring and aiming to land powerful combinations.
But any thoughts on Benavidez tonight, man, and how
he looked spectacular. He did wonderful. You know, I can't. A++.
Is he one of the best off?
The fight between David Benavidez and Terence Crawford would be more than just a boxing match. It would be a strategic chess game with high physical stakes. The contrast in their sizes, styles, and motivations sets the stage for a compelling and unpredictable showdown. For fans and analysts alike, this potential matchup offers a tantalizing glimpse into a clash of boxing philosophies and physical prowess, promising a bout filled with tactical depth and raw power. But we'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions. Do you think Crawford is ready to fight at super middleweight against the likes of Canelo or Benavidez? Should he take Fanon Boxing's advice and fight the likes of Ennis at a higher weight class? Let us know in the comments. That's it for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Turn on the bell for the latest notifications so that you never miss out on videos like this. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.